Thank you for your interest in SLS Digital. With this demonstration, we're going to show you how to actually use the SLS School Suite product. If you click on Products, you can go into the application suite from here. Now, it's possible that you might have received this link directly, the SLS application link, which is basically the web app. If you click Register, you can create your new account. So for instance, I'll create a test account and we'll give it a user, a password, and an email. And if you've received invite code 8765, you might be working off a different code. This currently is the active code for doing a trial on the School Suite. You go and enter that here, and then when you click register, it will create your account. So now you can log in with your credentials, which I believe we were over there, and you'll have access to the School Suite. Okay, so this is what you'll receive as a new user: lesson plan builder, classes, student listing, and gradebook. However, I'm going to log out of this. You'll also notice a couple other options open up here on the menu bar, or the navigational bar. But I'm going to log out and log into my account so I can show you some things a little faster, so we're not having to recreate everything. Okay, so you will not see all this. These are different applications that are in development or in beta testing, including budgets, data and analytics, as well as student documentation and inventory. So we're going to focus here on the classroom suite. Okay, so initially when you go in, you're going to want to create a lesson plan. So using the lesson plan builder, if you're a new user, you'll notice that you shouldn't have anything here in the load lesson. You wouldn't have created anything yet, so there won't be anything here. If you need a little bit of a refresher outside of this video, this is the help button. You can always use these to get a general overview of what the page does. It'll kind of take you through it and some of the ins and outs. So if you start from scratch, you'll create a new lesson. Now, the only thing that is actually really required for a new lesson is a name. But in the vein of actually building out meaningful lessons and such, that you'll see that there are a lot of other options that are associated with that. So I'll talk about that briefly. If you want to dig into that a little deeper, you can. So topic, we're just going to call it a new lesson. And class, we'll call it Spanish. And objective, your objective should be well written, but again, for the demonstration, we're just going to put test objective. There are different resources available here, especially right here. You can access a Bloom's chart. You can kind of get some information of some verbs that you might want to use in your objectives and assessments, basically what you want your students to get, to make sure that the design is somewhat intentional. Now, learning metrics are basically just whatever standards or anything that you're working off of to basically facilitate information. So if your organization or your school has a number associated with an objective you're going to teach, you're going to put that in here, but again, it's not required. So I'm actually going to leave this blank, and I'm also going to leave the learning assessment blank as well. Now, this checkbox right here, public, means that once it's marked public, you can basically distribute a link for distribution. If you uncheck that box, that link that you had distributed will no longer work. It will tell the user or the viewer or the student that lesson is no longer available. So really all we needed was a topic, but I went in and put in a class and objective, and we're going to save this. Okay, it's saying new lesson, which is a title, what I called it, and here is the workspace of which any content areas or activities, assignments can be deployed. So your overview button is still here, giving you the same metrics that you had before to fill out. Details, you have here. So this is where you get to kind of expand and be a little bit more intentional with your design. If you provide a driving question, that will go to the top of your lesson. What do we want to achieve with this knowledge? And the driving question is usually a good ground for that. So vocabulary that you need to include, required resources, time to complete prerequisites. So again, you can add details not required for the demonstration here. I'm going to bypass all that. Now the content area. The content area is basically it's like where you can enter text as to what you're doing. So we can just say, like I can call this first content area objectives. All right. And again, this is about building the design of what the end user or student is going to see. So let's say I want to always show them objectives that they're going to get. Now the order is the order of which these content areas are going to appear top to bottom in the lesson. So you could just start with a generic 100, and you can always change this and edit it. Everything is editable. And I'll just say to learn Spanish. Okay, so I save that as an objective, or I save that as a content area, which lists the title, objectives, and then to learn Spanish. In the public viewer, if that was all I created, I don't want to distribute that to students. If I click public, of course, I have not made this public yet. So let me go back to overview. Check public, save it, go to the public viewer, and this is what the student would see. Okay, so you give them this link, objectives to learn Spanish. Okay, great. Well, that's not really much of anything. So they will never have access to this, just the link that you have, because this is hidden behind your user and your password. But we need to build out something substantial. So let's say, we could have, a description of common vocab. So I'll build one more area here. We'll put a 90 because this is going to be the second content area below that. And I'll just say some words here. Okay, so we're going to create two content areas, but let's say I want to base this lesson around a video. So let's say the Spanish video here is Learn Spanish Faster. Okay, so I can create my own title, or I can title it that. I'm just going to say Learn Spanish. And then here we can provide a link. And this is just simply taking the link of the YouTube video, pasting it here. You can put in a description. These are things that you want your student to see. Okay, what is this video that I'm seeing? 6 tips for Spanish. And then we'll put this as an 80 because I want this, actually we're going to put this as an 85 because I want this to follow the description of common vocab, and we'll specify this as a video. And save it. Okay, so now we have three things built in this lesson here. 2 content areas and a Spanish video. So if we want to look at what the public is going to see, if you distribute this link right here, they will see this.